This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Partly cloudy this afternoon, 25, with the 3 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek.
Get your tickets before midnight Friday for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery's $2 million early bird prize.
The Prime Minister says a new East Coast naval base will be important infrastructure that will benefit the nation's economy. The $10 billion facility will be built in either Brisbane, Newcastle or Port Kembla in New South Wales. The base will be used to service Australia's fleet of nuclear submarines. Scott Morrison says this is the first significant defence development in about 30 years.
Our government has authorised Defence to immediately begin engaging with the New South Wales and Queensland governments, and I was in contact with both of the premiers last night, and relevant local governments also, and authorities to further validate their work to date and to begin negotiations on what will be an enormous undertaking.
The Ukrainian military says Moscow is readying its troops for an attack in Kyiv, but a large Russian convoy seen on the approach to the capital is still stalled. The BBC's Jonathan Bill has more.
So why have Russia's advances so far stuttered and stalled? It's clearly struggled with supplies and logistics. The readiness of Russia's military has also been called into question. One senior Western defence official said President Putin thought he had the disciplined military machine he'd seen on parade in Moscow's Red Square. But instead, he seems to have an army that's been ill-prepared for this battle. Russia's also facing Ukrainian forces who've now been supplied with Western weapons. The US and European nations have provided thousands of anti-tank weapons and hundreds of anti-aircraft missiles.
There are calls in the UK for Shane Warne to be awarded a knighthood. The 52-year-old who died of a suspected heart attack in Thailand on Friday night will be farewelled with a state funeral in Victoria. His long-term manager James Erskine says the title Sir Shane would have sat well with the cricketing great.
I think he would love it. I mean, it's quite interesting. You know, the 5 top wisdom cricketers of all time are all knighted. He's the only one that's not knighted, so I think it would be marvellous. Yeah, he deserved it.
A landmark inquiry has heard the difficulties in creating cultural change in the Defence Force. The group responsible for HR in the sector is appearing at the Royal Commission into Defence and Veteran Suicide. It's assisted in putting together 2 5-year plans to create cultural reforms since 2012. Defence People Group Deputy Secretary Justin Greig has told the inquiry extensive work has been done.
I think all people know that cultural change takes a long time. So it was always a 5-year implementation with a view to assessing, reflecting, where have we met those goals, where do we need to do more.
Almost $200 million in Commonwealth disaster payments have been distributed to flood-affected residents. Eligible adults across New South Wales and Queensland are being offered a one-off payment of $1,000. More than 160,000 payments have been made since last week. And at least 7 people have been killed after a tornado struck the US state of Iowa. 2 young children are among the victims. Wind speeds of more than 200 kilometres an hour have been recorded. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport. The start of play on day 4 of the first test between Australia and Pakistan has been delayed due to wet weather. Australia will resume at 2 for 271 on day 4 in reply to the home side's 476. Australian opener Usman Khawaja says they can't afford to get complacent while still 200 runs behind.
Get too far ahead of yourself, especially in the subcontinent where there's, a bit of purchase from the spinners and whatnot. Things can happen very quickly and then, you're back out on the field. So I wouldn't like to be looking too far ahead.
Adelaide and Port Adelaide's players have recovered today following Saturday's pre-season showdown. The Crows are set to start the season without star midfielder Rowey after he broke his hand, meaning he'll miss 4 to 6 weeks. The Power are hopeful Robbie Gray will be okay to play in round 1 despite suffering some hamstring soreness. And Manchester City has defeated Man United 4-1 in the EPL's Manchester Derby to go 6 points clear on top of the table. Now checking the 5AA traffic.
Somerton Park got a nasty smash there. Brighton Road closed near Oaklands Road. Detours in place. Avoid the area. Crash investigators on site. Glenelg East, another collision. Brighton Road, this one at Jetty Road, Glenelg. And Paraka got a collision there too. Main North Road near Montague Road. Houghton burst water main there. North East Road near Lower North East Road. And look out for a camera at Duthie Street only. Whatever your project, remember, dial before you dig. It's the essential first step of safe excavation. Lodge your free inquiry at 1100.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast. Partly cloudy this afternoon, 25. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 24. Wednesday still partly cloudy, 25. And Thursday much the same, a top of 26. Right now it's 23. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
A horror crash plays out in front of school kids in Adelaide South. An 11-year-old arrested over a vicious city mugging. New details emerge of Shane Warne's final days. How the floods will drive up insurance premiums for everyone. See the Adelaide firefighters in a dramatic kit and rescue. And the clever device zapping away lower back pain. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
7 minutes past 3 o'clock, and it's now time to talk to our favourite vet, Dr. Derek McNair.
Pet Talk Back with Dr. Derek McNair.
Good afternoon, Dr. Derek, and a big wave to our friends that are joining us via Facebook and also YouTube.
Which camera do I wave to?
Camera 1, camera 2, I don't know. I'm
all
not
of
sure.
them.
Just, give everyone a big
Yeah,
wave.
you can tell I'm used to this.
Thank you very much for joining us. And, of course, if you've got any questions at all you'd like to ask Dr. Derek, now's the time to join the program, 8223 0000. It could be cats falling out of trees and firemen catching them. Could be cats catching COVID, Tom Coots and toners. Could be anything at all you'd like to talk to us about. But one thing that I think is pretty important is that we've got a long weekend coming up.
Yes.
And you do have to put in a lot of thought if, you want to send them off to a kennel or a cat farm or take them with you.
We're getting this, we've had sort of 2 years of everyone staying at home and no one doing anything. You just stay at home, which is nice. You can just pat your cat and pat your dog all day, which is lovely.
They love it.
They love it. But now the borders are open, people are starting to travel a bit, so you do have to think ahead because the good catteries and the good boarding kennels get filled up very quickly for holiday weekends. So 2 things you need to do. You need to think, where are you going to put them? Mm-hmm. If you're going to take them with you, make sure you can stay somewhere that... There's lots of places now that you can stay, that you can take your dog...
Heaps now, isn't
with
there?
you. Probably people tend not to take their cat as much as their dog, but they take their dog and you can have dog-friendly places, which is good. If they're going to go into a boarding establishment, then they'll need to be up to date with their vaccinations. And you can't just do it sort of the day before. A lot of kennels like them done at least a week and sometimes 2 weeks before.
So
they go in, so you have to think ahead, check. Mm-hmm. If you're going away Easter time, if you're going away for next weekend, check very quickly. Mm-hmm. So yes, because it's something that people forget about, and we have had, and some places do let you do. We have had sometimes people will come in and they'll get the pet vaccinated as they're going to the cattery or the boarding kennel. So some of them let you in, but do check well ahead of time, and phone up your vet and phone up your friends and find out. It's like everything, the standard of boarding places varies. Mm-hmm. So get word of mouth of where's good. You don't want to leave your precious little puppy or pussy in somewhere that's just not very nice. So do ask your friends, ask your vet, and the good ones get booked up early. Which is always a good sign of a good place. It's always a good sign.
So also I'm guessing Google review, Facebook pages, because
yes,
that's the best type of review, isn't it, is word of mouth and what, people's experiences.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, well, we've got Kay who's joined the line. Hi, Kay, how are you going?
Hi, Jade, how are you going?
Very good. What would you like to ask Dr. Derek?
Dr. Derek, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. My granddaughter's got a staffy. Mm-hmm. He's got a very, very itchy belly, I guess would be the best way to describe it, where he scratches himself.
Yes.
Oh, terribly.
Yes.
It's very raw.
Oh dear.
Had him to the vet, and they've given him tablets, medication. It did work for a while, but like, you know, most things, it sort of tapers off.
Yes.
And it comes back again. Is there anything else, like food-wise? It could be grass, I realise that.
Yes. Yeah. How old is he, Kay?
He's 6.
And has he had it before? Has he had it in
Yes, he has.
And does he tend to get it at the same time each year, or does he have it all year round?
No, it seems to be, like this time of the year, seems to be worse till about April.
Okay, yes. If it's a seasonal thing, yes, you think of grass. There's two, if he's rubbing his tummy, there's sort of two, if you like, types of allergies it tends to be.
Right.
One is what's called a contact allergy. So basically that just tends to affect his bald bits. So around his groin tends to be red.
Yes, very red.
Yeah, but if you go further forward where he has more of a covering of hair, then that tends to be less badly affected if it's a contact allergy. And contact allergies are purely that the skin has to come into contact with something that irritates it. So, and that sets it off. So if it is that, if you actually try, and was it your daughter's dog, did you say?
Granddaughter.
Yeah. My apologies. If you get her to keep him away from grass, just walk him on pavements. After you finish a walk, get her to wipe him down with a damp cloth, because that can help as well. But it can also mimic hay fever, so it's actually allergens that he's breathing in. They also tend to cause itchy paws and itchiness around the head. Does he lick? Do you know? Does he lick?
Scratches. Yep.
He does. Yeah.
He does.
So it could be that as well. Most allergies are a multiple of things, and it can be food as well.
That's what I wondered.
Yeah. If it's not all year round, then it won't be 100% allergens. It won't be 100% food, but. Oh, I'd love to spend an hour on this. I love this topic. But he may have a food allergy which is making his itch worse and making it easier for him to become itchy to grasses and pollen. So your granddaughter needs to talk to her vet. You need to change the diet 100%. And
yes, that's what they're doing.
Are they? Okay. You need to change it onto what's called a hypoallergenic diet.
There's no cream or anything we can put on him?
Yes, but if it's a big area, cream tends to be licked off.
Yeah,
if it's all along his tummy, you can try, but they're not very strong. You can try like Telfast or Zyrtec. You could
so what, do you crumble that up into their food, do they?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And Zyrtec's 1 tablet per 10 kilos. So if he maybe weighs 10, 15 kilos, 1.5 tablets a day. There are wonderful, wonderful anti-itch things, but unfortunately they come with a price tag attached.
Yes.
Yeah, the really good ones with almost no side effects are not super cheap.
No.
There's an injection that you can get away if the vet does a naughty thing and breaks a bottle in two, then it's about $60 a month. Yeah. It would cost you, and that would stop his itch completely. And there's no side effects. So maybe you could talk to your vet about that. If your granddaughter can manage $60 a month, then that's a really good way to go, just to get him through the nasty season.
That's right, that's for sure. Well, thank you very much, Dr.
No,
Derek.
not
good
at
luck,
all.
Kay.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay,
Bye.
Thank you.
So
Bye.
do you recommend buying that cream? And because, I mean, if this keeps going and going, she might end up spending more than $60 trying to fix the poor fella.
Yes, the problem is two things. If you're talking about creams generally don't work. They'll only work if it's a really small area.
Right.
And then you can put the cream on, and then you put something yucky tasting around it.
And they won't
like
lick
Vicks Vapor Rub or something like that. And they won't lick it. If you've got the whole tummy affected, you're not going to cover the cream. You can maybe put a moisturising cream on, like Sorboline helps, because the skin actually becomes dry.
Yes.
And that makes it worse. So moisturising it, omega-3, omega-6 supplements can help as well. But to get a cure, just say we knew that the dog was allergic to grasses and pollens and blah, blah, blah. The only way you may get a cure, the one expensive way is to move house into another suburb.
Oh, that's very expensive.
That's
I
very
think I'd opt
expensive.
for the $60 cream.
But it doesn't always work either. But the other way is to get allergy tests done to find out what he's allergic to, and then you can get desensitising injections, and you get injections that will hopefully desensitise him to whatever he's allergic to. The downside of that is it takes 2 years to complete.
Whoa.
It does cost $2,000 or $3,000, and there's only about 20% that it really helps. About 20% are pretty well cured. About 60% are much better. They still need medications, but they need less of them, and 20% it does nothing at all. So, you have the joy of knowing you've tried it and it hasn't worked.
Dear little fella. All right, well, good luck, Kay. Margaret, stay on the line. We will come to you next. And if you would like to join the program and ask Dr. Derek a call, now's the time to give us a buzz, 8223 0000.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to get free installation? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design? 2. The largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills. Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers and get free installation on your cabinets with laminate benchtops. For a limited time, of course. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhannakitchens.com.au.
The kitchen is the heart of your home, and Spartan Electrical's heart is in quality kitchen appliances. Get the best kitchen appliance advice with Spartan Electrical, because the foundation of a great kitchen is the appliances. Spartan Electrical's appliance experts can help you select from the best brands at competitive prices, and they'll personally deliver to you too. Get inspired. Visit a Spartan Electrical showroom today in Campbelltown or Torrensville. Spartan Electrical, the foundation of your kitchen creation.
Our pets can be such a comfort, and to some of us, they are clearly part of the family. So show them you care and head into your local Cheap as Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. There's loads of great deals like the professional pet clipper set, a must-have for only $40, or check out the lockable galvanised pet enclosure with shade, a hot buy for only $299. That's a saving of $70. Call into your nearest Cheap as Chips and check out the Melanie cat scratcher with ladder, tunnel, house and hammock for only $99. It's seriously like a theme park for your cats. Plus, there are loads of pet food hot buys. Pick up 2 Pedigree Dentist sticks for only $9. 400-gram Sparky's Point pork oinkers, $7.99, and 1 kilo Cat Pro dried cat food, only $4.79. So get to your local Cheap as Chips for amazing catalogue deals out this Wednesday. Even pets live cheaper every day at Cheap as Chips.
This is RB Day with more tales from the bedroom thanks to Supercraft Bedding. Back when you could only buy our mattresses from big department stores, one canny delivery driver named Graham had a run-in with one of our big buyers. He told Graham, "You'll never sell to a department store again." And so, we've been selling direct to you without the middleman ever since. This is RB Day for Supercraft Bedding, building better beds at 42 Richmond Road, Keswick.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and O'Neill Funerals are here to provide reassurance and peace of mind. Farrell and O'Neill offer creative guidance and advice to tailor a service that best honours your loved one. Whether a large gathering or a small, intimate service, Farrell and O'Neill share their generations of experience in tailoring a unique and meaningful farewell. Proudly SA family owned and operated, because it's personal.
Seen the new quick and easy recipes at pork.com.au yet? I have. It's how I turned Sanchoy Bao into pork Sanchoy Wow. There's so many other recipes too, because as they say, dinner winners are easy when there's pork on your fork.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
And I'm joined in studio with our favourite vet, Dr. Derek McNair. So if you've got a question you'd like to ask about your furry friend, 8223 0000. Margaret has called in and she joins us now. Hi, Margaret. How are you going today?
Oh, good, thank you.
That's
hi,
good.
Dr. Derek.
Hello.
No, I've got a query, actually. I'm an older person, and I found out, Saturday, either I've got the wrong idea. I thought mobile vets come out to you. But my dog's an older dog, and bigger than I am. And anyway, Saturday she's a bit, Friday night she was a bit mopey. Saturday, oh my God, I knew I had trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to get a mobile vet to be able to take her to get, see to get what was wrong and find out what was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, I went from before 7 o'clock until 10:30. Oh, no, we don't operate on the weekends. We don't operate on the weekends. But I thought, hang on. And I finally did get one who come out to me.
Mm-hmm.
But the dog was hospitalised.
Oh,
but,
gosh.
She was bleeding from the bowel.
Right.
She was running a temperature. And I said, I lost her.
Oh.
He said, you should have had treatment sooner.
Oh,
and I just thinking, if I got it wrong,
sorry.
if I got it wrong, that expecting, that your dog's got to get sick during the week, and some of a couple of the places, one have turned around and says, oh, we'll book her in for Monday. I said she'll be dead on Monday. She was dead on Monday. She was dead Friday, Sunday
I'm so
afternoon.
sorry.
Oh, gosh, Margaret, are you okay?
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But, I just thought, and then I'm thinking, now have me and my friends thinking, I was under the impression that, if you're stuck, you're on your own, you can't lift the dog. But the guy I did get, he was a cream. He was a wonderful guy to the point. He said, look, I'll help you lift it into your car. He contacted the hospital concern, said, right, I've given her pain relief, blah, blah, get her out there and let them do the rest, which I did, but it was too late.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
I just wondered.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wondered, hey, I'm not blaming you, but just saying, is it that they sort of, I know you say there's vet shortages and that, but I'm just querying whether, you're not told they only work during the week, not on the weekend.
Yes,
which
yeah,
is,
and
yes. older people.
Yes, and I guess you do have to look around. I've heard this before, that the mobile vets, a lot of them don't work on the weekend. I mean, we are open every day, and we do house calls if we have vets free. A bit of the problem we have is that, one, we're a wee bit short of vets, but two is that weekends tend to be super busy because a lot of other vets close. So we're actually flat chat at the clinic on Saturdays and Sundays, so we often don't have the manpower where a vet can actually do a house call at the weekend. It's generally easier for us during the week, but you're quite right, at the weekend it's a huge problem. And if we get phone, we generally sort of ask people if they've got friends or relatives who'll come round and help them to lift the dog and put it in a blanket and lift it like that, and bring it in. But I'm very sorry, it is a problem, Margaret. It really is. I am aware of it, and it's and we know that dogs don't get sick Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. It's obviously that doesn't happen, but
and as we were saying, so many older Aussies that are living at home like yourself, Margaret, you want company, so you want a pet. To keep you company, and they're fabulous companions. But you're right. I mean, you should be surfaced for that too. There should be, more people out there that can help you.
Yes.
Obviously, a big gap in the market.
As I said, it was like a miracle when this one bloke said, "No, I'll come. I can't. won't be there before 12 o'clock." But he said, "I'll be." And it was like a miracle to me because I just watching my dog basically in agony. I couldn't do a bloody thing for it. I just felt, oh my God, I'm watching her die.
Oh, that's awful. I'm very sorry. That's very, very sad. Very sad.
No, and I thought, and there's a lot of people like me that, I just thought, well, at least there's nothing else by saying it over the air.
No, that's very true. And probably it's a good thing, and it's not always possible if you can have people, who you can call on to come and help you, just to lift them into the car, and then you can get them to the vets. Because obviously, if you get them to the vets, and we do this a lot, we'll help people carry their dogs out from the car. But it's not always that easy just to sort of send somebody off to go and do a house call if we're short staffed and very busy at the clinic.
Oh, for sure. No, but I just sort of thought, because I'm only one of a lot of people who under the belief that just call the clinic and that. And I thought, well, at least I'll break the myth.
Yes.
For other people's dogs.
No, thank you.
I said, I realised, and thank you very much for listening and helping me get the word across to my fellow elderly people.
Oh, Margaret, please look after yourself. We're really sorry.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Take care.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye, Margaret. Oh, pull them.
That's awful.
Let's talk to Jennifer, who's called in. Hello, Jennifer.
Yes, good afternoon. I'd like to tell the folks about my daughter who had a young white what do they call that very small white dog? Anyway, very fluffy inside.
Westies?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
a Westie, Maltese?
Yes, I think that's it.
Yep.
And she was a lovely natured dog, but anyway, she eventually got this where she was scratching her, finish up biting her feet and all this sort of thing, and really causing problems.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, eventually my daughter and her husband got a big black dog as well, and they're both very lovely natured and very friendly in that. But then he used to get this scratching business and so on. Anyway, to hurry the story, they don't have it at all now. Why? Because they've quit using Australian tinned dog food. They buy American dog food and there's no problem.
Okay.
There you go. So it was a dietary problem. So you just don't know, do you? Process of elimination.
It is a process of elimination, and it'd be interesting. It's interesting, Jennifer, because the statistics are that food allergies, if they happen, 95% of food allergies are to animal protein. So if your dog is allergic to chicken, it actually doesn't matter if it comes in an Australian tin or an American tin. The dogs are actually allergic to the chicken protein molecule itself. So possibly these dogs were in the 5% that were allergic to something else, like the preservatives or some other thing. But yes, it can, food allergies certainly happen, and it's often trial and error finding out what it is. But it's usually, either chicken or beef or pork or lamb or something like that, that causes the problem. So that's where going on to a hypoallergenic diet can help. But they were lucky. Changing to a different tin food did the job, so that was good.
Yeah. I've got some homework for you. Dean has messaged in, he's got a parrot, and he thinks that the beak's too long and needs to get filed.
I've just remembered I've got an urgent appointment I have to be at.
We'll give you a week to think about this one. Where can you go and get this beak filed?
Well, there are some. I used to have a vet who was good at that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. I have done it, but I try not to. Okay. Because you have to be careful, because you can actually just clip the beak, just like clipping toenails, but there are blood vessels in the beak as well, so you have to be careful you don't go don't go too far back. So there are various
well, when we see you in 2 weeks' time, because Monday's a public holiday, can you give us a name and we'll pass it on to Dean?
I'll give you it now, because I always think it's funny because she's a bird vet, Anne Fowler.
I love that.
If he Googles Anne Fowler, she's at Richmond. I think she's down there still.
Okay.
So
there you go, Dean.
Easy to remember.
And you can visit Dr. Derek at the Parade Veterinary Clinic. The number is
8363 5323.
Rowey Sports Show.
Well, we lost a giant of a man, a cricketer and a human today in Rod Marsh. Our thoughts with the family, his mates and teammates, one of which is my next guest, the great Rick Charlesworth. Rick, condolences. What a huge loss.
Yeah, it is. Rod was always positive, always thoughtful, always contributing, made a difference to a lot of people.
4 p.m. weekdays.
He had a terrific sense of humour. He was a very good leader.
Rowey Sports Show on 5AA.
Dreaming of a new bathroom or kitchen? Get the best brands and the latest trends at Adelaide Bathroom and Kitchen Supplies. The ABK Supplies showroom has just been renovated to showcase a range of Australian-made customisable vanities. Brands like ADP, Timberline, Marquee and more, including imported options. With so many choices for cabinet colours, tops and basins, your kitchen or bathroom will be stylish and timeless. Browse the new displays at ABK, Adelaide Bathroom and Kitchen Supplies, Lower North East Road, opposite Durnan Court Village.
You could call a pest control company and pay upwards of $1,500 to see if you have termites. Or do it yourself with a Termi Busters kit. It's easy. Just install the Termi Busters stations around the exterior of your home and monitor them yourself. That way there's no ongoing fees to have someone else monitor them. It's the easiest DIY you'll ever do. And for a limited time, you'll pay just $270. That's all. Visit termibusters.com.au and order your kit now.
Oscar, Penny, Hercules, Horatio.
If dogs are a part of your family, you'll want to keep your family protected.
Jasmine, Jenny, Harley.
Simparica Trio gives dogs fast and effective protection from fleas and ticks, deadly heartworm and intestinal worms. A simple monthly chew that keeps your dog safe from deadly parasites inside and out.
Who wants to go for a walk?
So if you're a dog person, you'll want some Simparica Trio. Protection from fleas, ticks, intestinal worms and heartworm.
They say the early bird gets the worm. Well, how about a $2 million home? Get your tickets in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery by midnight Friday, and you could live mortgage-free in a luxurious Scott Salisbury home in Somerton Park. Plus, your tickets stay in the draw for the incredible $3 million grand prize. Just 4 days remain. Join the fight and get your tickets at homelottery.com.au. Licence 14133.
It's always been my happy place. When the old arthritis set in, I thought my gardening days were over. Suffered for a while, actually. Nearly kicked myself when Carol told me about the joint replacement clinic. There's no gap to pay with health insurance and everything's included. Transport, physio, aftercare. They really look after you. Turns out I didn't need to fork out a cent to keep my trowel.
Ask your GP or visit thejointreplacementclinic.com.au. Renewing mobility, restoring life.
I care about the planet. I mean, I don't go to the protests, but, you know, I put stuff in the recycling bin. I want my energy to be green, but I also love good value.
Going green is cheaper than you think with Glowbird's Glow Green Plan. 100% carbon offset and great value. Make the good choice for you and the planet with Glowbird's Glow Green Plan. Basic plan information document available at glowbirdenergy.com.au.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. The Prime Minister has pledged to build a new base to help service Australia's fleet of nuclear-powered submarines. The United States believes there is very credible evidence Russia is engaging in war crimes in Ukraine. 37 early voting centres have opened across SA today ahead of the March 19 election, and the start of play on day 4 of the first test between Australia and Pakistan has been delayed due to wet weather. Partly cloudy this afternoon, 25. Right now it's 23. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
3:33 on this Monday afternoon, March 7. We have reached our top of 23 degrees. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for tuning in and spending your afternoon with me. Well, have you ever done a juice diet, a liquid diet? I haven't. I love my food way too much, and I think I'd really, really struggle. I would be angry, Jade, if I had to live off juices every day. Well, this kind of diet, it's in the headlines following the passing of Shane Warne. His manager has spoken over the weekend that Shane was on this quote-unquote ridiculous 14-day liquid diet. His son has also said his father regularly used 30-day fasting tea diets. And Shane Warne posted on his Instagram account just days before he passed away, Operation Shred starts. Well, there are now questions being asked about just how safe are these crash shredding diets, these juice diets. Let's talk to nutritionist, dietitian and also author Catherine Sexelby. Thank you very much for joining the program, Catherine.
Oh, you're most welcome, Jade.
What is a juice diet, a liquid diet?
Well, you have juices that might be celery and apple or carrot and ginger and orange instead of whole food. And that's one of the problems, that you actually, while juice is healthy and has less fat in it than most other foods, it has it's not the same as eating the whole fruit. So, you know, you don't have any chewing, you don't have the intact structure, you can down a glass of juice in less than a minute, but it's really hard to eat 3 or 4 whole oranges that quickly. So juices are not the same as whole fruit, and I would have thought Shane Warne would have known that, and he would have been on a better diet than that to lose weight, because he had some non-modifiable risk factors. I mean, there was his age. As you get older, you don't get any benefits from less heart disease, you get more. And gender, male is definitely at risk more than female. And genetics, his family history. I'd love to know whether his mother or father had a history of heart disease. But he was a smoker, and he was probably had high blood pressure or high cholesterol or diabetes, the other modifiable risk factors for heart disease. But I also read that same article that you read, and Shane was suffering from sweating and chest pains the week before he had his heart attack. So, you know, he'd been often on diets to lose weight quickly, and I don't think you can lose weight quickly.
Well,
and you can't lose it permanently, as in long term.
Well, 14 days. I was going to say 7 days. 14 days seems an
Yes.
extraordinarily long time to be on a liquid diet as well.
Yes, it is. It is far too long if you don't have any modifiable, any other health issues. And this is why I reckon if you're healthy, you can manage a 3-day fast. These are actually semi-fast or fad diets, a lot of these juice cleanses. And you can manage those and your body will recover. And if you're young, if you're in your 20s or 30s, then your body will recover. And it doesn't make any difference, 3, 4, 5 days, even a week. But 14 days is a long time, especially for someone to be on juices only. So I think he died far too young at 52. But there's lots of men who are also in their 40s and 50s and 60s who were probably scratching their head and thinking, oh, well, I might be the same. So it's a real shame.
Oh, it's an absolute tragedy. It's a huge loss. And I mentioned earlier in the show, I guess the only positive that anyone can take out of this awful situation is that it may spark a conversation amongst, that group of men to start talking about your health and acknowledging that, oh, hang on, if I have a little bit of ache and pain or if I'm not feeling so great, do see a doctor as soon as possible.
And if you have any other health problems like diabetes or you have high cholesterol anyway, which apparently heart disease is still the number one killer in this country, you've got to go and see your doctor and say to him, well, look, I need to be checked, my heart needs to be tested and so on. Warren was just a chronic dieter. I think he went off and on diets and he seemed to like the juice only or the fasting, semi-fasting diets that kept his weight under control, but he didn't sort of keep to the letter of the law. I mean, there was also his alcohol, and he smoked as well, which would have put him at risk immediately. I mean, I'm waiting for the results of the autopsy, but I just think he would have probably had a few too many drinks and more alcohol and more smoking than he probably would have liked to be publicly known.
I would like to stress that we're not saying that Shane Warne passed away because of doing this 14-day liquid diet. It's just purely that it has hit the headlines today, and health experts around the world have raised concerns because it is a long time to do a diet like this, and we don't know a lot about them. So I wanted to ask you, Catherine, what do they do to the body? Is it a fasting type thing? I mean, the ketose diet puts the body into ketose, but what does a liquid diet do?
Well, it drops your calorie intake very markedly. So you're actually in a semi-fast situation, and your body has to break down its own fat, its own reserves of fat in order to keep going. So it'll take those from around the organs or on your tummy if you're a man, or on your hips and bottom if you're a female.
Right.
So it is very attractive, and it only has to be endured for a short time. Well, 14 days isn't a long time. Usually it's 3 days. There's a 3-day juice-only fast. That's been out on the internet for ages. But, I mean, a lot of people follow a 5 to 2, which is like a modified diet plan. I've looked at those, and they're probably... The weight loss ends up being the same as if you were to go on a low-calorie diet long term, but you don't have to do it that way. You can have 2 days, 2 non-consecutive days of fasting. Michael Mosley made this very popular on he's got a book and a program out on, a TV program out on it. And so there are other ways that you could lose that weight, but you don't have to do it all the time. This is what strikes me as so amazing about Mr. Warren's approach. And as his manager said, he just would go on all these ridiculous diets, off and on them all the time. in order to maintain that figure that he had back in, 2000. So,
Catherine, what's your opinion in the best way to lose weight? That slow and steady wins the race?
Yes, we recommend a kilo a week, which is not a lot, but it's long term. And Shane probably wouldn't have been happy with that. But it's the same thing. You've got to look at your fluids. You've got to look at your salt. You look at electrolytes. And if you have a small heart attack, it could become more serious. So you've got to look at all those things. And I like to recommend whole foods, so nuts and vegetables and eating your fruit, not drinking your fruit, whole grains. Did I say whole grains? Meat, fish, eggs, and dairy foods, low-fat dairy foods. That's the cornerstone of a healthy diet. Cut out all the extras, all the alcohol and salt and sugar and ultra-processed foods, which we all eat too much of in this country anyway.
Thank you so much for joining us, Catherine. Really appreciate your time. Let's now go to, who have we got here? We've got Amadeo. Hi, from West Croydon. You're joining us on the program to chat about the city. Earlier in the show, we were talking about what are the barriers stopping you from going into the city? It's alive and kicking right now. There's a real pulse thanks to all of the festivals that are on at the moment, which is fantastic. But will it stay like that? Will we continue to come into the city? Or when the festivals stop, will it mean the people will stop? What would you like to see changed? There was a group of people that went around the table today. The Advertiser put on a bit of a forum for industry heads, politicians, the Lord Mayor, retail. It was also a lot of pubs, clubs, those sorts of people and owners sat around this table to sort of, brainstorm what can we do to revive the CBD again. We've got Amadeo, like I said, who joined the program. Hello, how you going?
I'm good, Jade. Yourself?
Really good, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, good. Listen, just on a different. I want to try and put a different direction on the discussion. I've basically worked in the city for the better part of 40 years, and from 1978, when the city at the time, even though it's not as modern as it is today, the city was actually a CBD, which is a central business district. And over the years, what I've found is they've basically made the CBD into a residential area with the ongoing apartments that are going up, people living in the city. So it's in my opinion, it's forced a lot of businesses to go out of the city because it's more residential. From an Uber driver's point of view, I see that at night time when it hits 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, there's, you see tumbleweeds coming down the streets because no one's around. Now, to back up my theory here, there's been a discussion that apparently someone or a group of people wanted to put a pub in Prospect Road because Prospect Road's never had a pub. And they've had some, just backlash from everyone. I think it's 100%. Everyone just doesn't want it because it's in my street and parking and,
sure. Late night
it's in a
noise,
residential area.
Yeah.
So I think to grow the city again, which I don't think it's going to be able to do. If they continue to build apartments and get people living in the city, you're going to find that people are just not going to go there because it's just, businesses are moving out of the city. And to top it all off, COVID, although we never wanted this dastardly thing, what it's done is forced businesses to realise and say, hey, I don't need 4 floors of occupation in this building. I can use 2 and half my staff can work from home.
That's right. And that's the big fear, isn't it? Because
that's it.
Yeah, you'd rather your employee perhaps work a couple of hours, less and work from home, but they can have the flexibility of picking up kids and doing a load of washing while they're on their Zoom call. And Mr. who owns the business and used to rent out 4 floors only now needs to rent out 1 and can juggle his figures around a little bit. It's a huge problem.
Yeah, it's look. Look, Adelaide's always going to be little old Adelaide. It's it does have its good times like right now. I mean, the Fringe is fantastic. Again, as an Uber driver, it's wonderful to see people out and about and enjoying themselves. But still, if we can go back 3 years and imagine what that last Fringe was before COVID hit, it was just monstrous. Parked cars in the city, lining up just to get in, and it was just horrendous. Now, although it's horrendous because of the parking problems and the traffic, it's also good to see because it's alive. You go in there and you see people everywhere.
Yeah. I must admit, it's a really good feeling.
Yeah, look, it's great. But what the answer is, I don't know. But I do know that I do believe strongly that the more they build residential places in the city, you're going to turn it into a residential area, and that's and what's the point? It's not a CBD anymore. You might as well just call it another suburb. So.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you make, but then you think, well, if you raise the number of the population of people that are living in the city, do those people then go and fill the restaurants and the cafes and all those businesses that are crying out for attention right now? So, yeah, it may be that trade-off, that you don't have all the business people in there, but you have all the extra people. Oh, dear, they've got a lot of planning ahead of them, don't they? Let's talk to Nick. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Jade and Tammy. You're doing a good job, guys.
Thank you, darling. Really appreciate it.
Jade, I wish I could go to the round table when they go their meetings and tell them the problem, how they can stop the problem, bring people back to the city.
What would you say?
I used to have a fleet of cabs from 1970 to 1992, and the city was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Jade, number one, the problem we've got is the crime.
Yeah.
I listen to your station every day, Jai. I listen to your station every day and see the problems we've got, crime. We've got two health ministers. I wish Mr. Stevens leave the health department, carry on with his job now, and put, as I said to Leon Biner, I said to Matthew Pantelis, the number one problem is the crime. They need to put police on the beat 24/7.
Yes.
Otherwise, they waste their time, Judge. As the other caller said, the other thing is, I live in Coromandel Valley, and it's 10 minutes from Westview Marion, and I can get everything I want there. Why should I come to town?
Mm.
I can park free. And the lady you interviewed earlier, she said, oh, we didn't have a time to talk about car park today. They don't need research. We know the problem, Jade.
They do, Nick. No, I agree with you. They said that they're researching more into that and that they should have those results in the next week or two. So it'll be very, very interesting. I've got loads of emails here, a couple more calls, and I'm being inundated with text messages here. A lot about safety. It really is. And my son and his dad went into town last week and they allegedly saw a drug deal happen, and my son said, well, should we tell the police, Daddy? And he said, by the time we go and find police officer, it's gonna, the moment's gonna pass. And with, serendipity has it, they turned around and there were two cops there. They told them, and they quickly got onto it. But I don't want my 10-year-old son having to be exposed to that. So crime is a huge one, that's for sure. I've got an email here from Joan. Pre-COVID, I used to work in the city and would take a walk around the CBD every day in my lunch break. I could have counted on the fingers of one hand the number of days I did not see anyone who looked like they were ice addicts. It used to really unnerve me, even if they were not acting aggressively. I'm just so grateful to be able to work from home now. We're going to take a really short break. We'll continue this discussion straight after.
Are you thinking about making the move into retirement living? Stockland Somerton Park Retirement Village offers a friendly community with options to suit every budget. Located close to the beach, residents can enjoy an active lifestyle with everything at their doorstep. With a range of independent and service departments available, now's the time to contact one of our friendly staff for a face-to-face appointment or virtual tour. Search Stockland Somerton Park or call 1800 727170 for more.
A kid's playground, rubbish. A park bench, rubbish. A nature boardwalk, rubbish. You see, the Australian government is helping industry to transform your old rubbish into incredible new things. proudly remade in Australia. Like this outdoor gym, rubbish. Even this brand new road, rubbish. Every time you recycle, you're helping to remake Australia into a better place for everyone. Remade in Australia. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
In times of loss, you need Embrace. Arranging Mum's funeral was never going to be easy. But Deanne Edwards from Embrace Funerals truly cared about delivering the perfect funeral to honour her life, to share our beautiful family memories, along with those of the many other lives she'd touched. Every detail of Mum's funeral was created with exceptional care and at a really affordable cost. Embrace Funerals gave us peace of mind. When funerals need to be perfect, choose Embrace.
What do the Garage Door Guys do? They bring garage doors to your door. The Garage Door Guys have a mobile showroom filled with inspiring ideas. They're also B&D accredited with over 15 years experience, so you can choose from the whole B&D range. Roller door, sectional doors, designer doors and more. With so many colours and styles available, you'll be adding the wow factor to your home in no time. For service, sales and repairs, visit thegaragedoorguys.com.au.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Womadelaide turns 30 in Botanic Park, March 11 to 14. With a reduced capacity, tickets are selling fast. Book now at womadelaide.com.au.
Hi there, I'm Grishma, a Specsavers optometrist. Did you know that every Specsavers is locally owned and operated by an optometrist, just like me? We believe eye tests should reveal more, not cost more, which is why we include an OCT advanced 3D eye scan with every eye test at no extra charge. Does your optometrist? Experience the Specsavers difference and book your eye test today. We're here to look after your eye health and keep you safe in store. Visit specsavers.com.au.
If ever there was a time where you need to have the ability to get emergency help while alone, it is right now. Whether you have a sudden illness or a nasty fall, just a press of a button and help will be on its way. For more information, go to carealert.com.au.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
It's 8 minutes to 4 o'clock, and of course, after 4 o'clock, it's Rowey's Sports Show, and he joins us now to tell us what's happening.
Hey, Jade. Yeah,
Hi.
well, I think we're all a little flat. I don't know, heartbroken and shocked from the news we lost. Well, I think he's a true Aussie treasure in Shane Keith Warne. He lived life to the fullest.
Didn't he just? I love the stories that are being told.
Yeah.
He brings a bloody big smile to your face because you're right. It was a short life, but geez, he packed a lot into it.
And I think what you saw is what you got, unashamedly. So to his family and friends, again, condolences. We'll do a tribute for that and the callers can have a crack at it. I said to David and Will at Brekkie this morning, there's 4 people in my life now that I've just been shocked or rattled to the core. Obviously Elvis when I was a little younger, because you see your parents cry for the first time. I mean, he was huge.
Yeah.
Lady Di was big.
Huge, yeah.
Steve Irwin for me was huge because I loved him. But again, it was because of the tragedy, the age, what they meant to so many people. It just shook you to the core. So we'll talk about that, still a bit numb. And Crows and Ports, well, mini showdown with Timmy G and Cornsey. Big show.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Now, I'm not sure if you saw in the paper today, a little kitty cat. Tell you what, speaking of cricket legends, this was a catch, a mighty catch. A cat got caught up a tree and, well, fell 10 metres. And Matthew, firefighter with the MFS, was the one who caught the little fella. Matthew, thanks for joining the program. What a catch, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
Talk to us what happened.
We just responded to a cat rescue in a tree. Apparently the cat had been messing around on the road, got skittled and ran up a tree.
Oh.
Poor little things. But so we got there, we put up the aerial plant to try and get him in that, and he decided to jump.
Oh dear.
Yeah, poor little fella. But luckily I caught him just before he hit the ground.
Well, you've got cat-like reflexes as well. I've seen it, and it all happened very, very quickly. And he didn't just fall; like he gave you a bit of a challenge, didn't he?
Yeah, he got a bit of a run-up and a big leap, and it's a bit like a sugar glider, really. He just seemed to go forever. I just managed to catch him before he hit the ground, so just a bit of luck there as well, I think. So.
And you've had quite the amount of attention today, haven't you?
It's a bit unexpected, but it's a good news story, I guess, and hopefully it's a good ending for the little kitten. So finds a nice home.
Oh, absolutely, Matthew. Well, thank you very much for that. And we will find out if the little fella has found a home. Carolyn Jones is at the RSPCA here in South Australia and has been looking after, well, he's a little no-name, isn't he, Carolyn?
Yes, he could have several names, we think, and I'm really happy to report, Jade, that he's doing incredibly well despite playing Russian roulette with the traffic and then taking a leap of faith out of a tree from 10 metres up.
My goodness. Well, they say they have 9 lives. I reckon he used 8 of them today.
I think he did. And I have to say he's also the most smoochy, beautiful little cat that you will ever meet.
We've put a photo of him up on our Facebook page and our socials, and he is up for adoption. Is that correct?
He's not quite available yet. He's
Okay.
just going to go into foster care for a while. He's got a sore leg and just needs a little bit of time to just get over this, what he's been through, and then he'll be vaccinated and desexed, and then he'll be made available to adopt. But we have plenty of cats and kittens at the moment, Jade. We'd love to find homes for them. They're equally as beautiful as this one.
Oh, my goodness. That's okay. So how can they get in contact then?
Well, if they just want to have a look at the animals that we have available to adopt, it's just going online at rspcasa.org.au. You can have a look at all the beautiful animals that we have available. And at this moment, we have about 100 cats and kittens in need of loving homes. So you make an appointment online and come in and have a look at them. And I'm sure you'll find everybody that we think there's a cat or a kitten or an animal for every single person. Life is definitely happy with them.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much for letting us know that the little fella is doing well, and good on you, Matthew. We've got to wrap things up. Tomorrow we've got Hugh Sheridan, who is going to join us in studio for a special performance live that you'll be able to live stream. Coming up now is Rowey Sports Show. Thanks so much for joining the program. Have a fantastic afternoon.
Is that one there? No. Oh, found one. Maybe not.